With all of the DC and Marvel movies coming out, we are quick to admire the superhero strength, agility, and other cool stuff that makes them superhuman. But what about the people who don't appear in movies but still possess awesome superpowers? In this video, we discuss about the people with superpowers caught on camera. Number 10. Dean Karnazes. Imagine if you could just run forever. Well, one man can. Dean Karnazes. He's ran 50 marathons in 50 days and completed a trek of 350 miles in 80 hours and 44 minutes without needing to stop for sleep or rest. He even ran a marathon in the South Pole in temperatures of 13F. For those who don't know, lactic acid is responsible for muscle soreness, tightness, and the feeling of legs as heavy as lead after a long session of training. It's produced as a byproduct of converting blood sugar into energy. Cramps and fatigue signal to the brain that it's time to stop. But Karnazes never receives these signals, giving him the ability to run almost indefinitely due to his body's extremely rare ability to rapidly filter lactic acid out of his muscles. Number 9. Jamie Keaton. Jamie Keaton is known as the human suction cup. For some bizarre reason, an undiagnosable skin condition turns his pores into something more closely resembling the properties of the suckers. He can stick cans, bottles, and even random objects like smartphones and house keys to his head and body. After shaving his head on the hot summer's day, he stumbled upon his weird superpower by accident after rubbing a soda can on his head to try and cool down from the sun. He's made a full-time career out of entertaining people, with beverage companies paying him to pour drinks out of bottles stuck to his head. Number 8. Kevin Richardson. South African Kevin Richardson is proof that some people can possess natural affinity for understanding and communicating with animals. Move over, Crazy Joe Exotic. This guy is a true Tiger King, and he's against raising cubs in captivity just for tourists to pat. Richardson is a real-life lion whisperer and has been accepted by a wild pride of lions in the Dino King Game Reserve in Pretoria. He rolls around on the ground wrestling with his lion buddies and joins them for a good roaring session. He has a wife and family, but once he sets foot on the savanna grass, he becomes one of the pride. Number 7. Attabar El Chef. Meet Attabar El Chef from Georgia. His day job is training aspiring kickboxers, but in his spare time, he practices breaking his own world record. This man has a unique ability to attract metal to his body, having nothing to do with his not so magnetic personality either. Dubbed the human magnet, he's able to hold 53 spoons onto his chest and back. Becoming the world record holder was his initial dream, but now he has sights on something bigger, something huge. He's pulled a Mercedes along the road with a metal plate on his back. Who knows, in a few decades' time with some intensive training, we might see this guy twisting and manipulating metal at will. That is Magneto, I fear. Number 6. Stig Serensen. Human being or aquatic sea mammal, you can judge yourself. Stig Serensen has more than earned his nickname as the man who doesn't breathe by using a state of zen to control his breathing underwater. He's able to spend 22 minutes submerged stationary in water. To put this into perspective, a regular person can hold their breath for between 30 seconds and 2 minutes before beginning to take in water and eventually drowning. He holds the record for the world's longest underwater swim, traveling an astounding 500 feet under a frozen lake without breathing apparatus. Wearing flippers and a wetsuit, he took things up a notch the following day by swimming 250 feet in just his trunks. Number 5. Wim Hof. Many people have claimed to be able to control their body temperature over the course of history, but few have put it to test to the degree that Wim Hof has. The Iceman has climbed Mount Everest and Mount Kilimanjaro barefoot, with just a pair of shorts to be able to record it all. In fact, he holds over 24 world records for surviving in conditions that would prove fatally cold for other mere mortals. Using Tibetan time-style meditation, Hoff is able to shut off activity in his mind and redirect his energy into keeping his body heat constant. This ability also works with extreme heat. As incredible, he ran a full marathon in the Namib Desert without food, water, or a change in his core temperature. Proof that power of the mind and body is far beyond scientific understanding. Number 4. Erling Bacon. High-wire acts aren't news, as performers have been showcasing their control and balance for centuries. What Erling Bacon is able to do is a whole different ball game and goes beyond what you've seen in the circus big top. The Norwegian has perhaps the best sense of balance in the world, but sees his demonstrations as art and not just mere stunts. Some of his notable feats have been to see to be believed. Some of his notable feats have to be seen to be believed, like balancing on a single ice cube measuring 2 feet square, supported on each end ropes suspended 1,000 feet above a glacier, or riding a bicycle upside down on his head, using his hands to pedal across a tightrope between two cliffs. Although he doesn't possess fear, he does have a natural sense of self preservation, an important trait when you live life on the edge. Number 3. Ho Ang Hui. Sometimes it's a case of mind over matter. For Ho Ang Hui, a lifetime training in the martial art of Kui Gong aligned his body, breath, and mind and has given him a crazily powerful and resilient finger. This guy is able to punch his finger clean through a green coconut and pour the juice straight into your pina colada. Hui has a permanent spot on the streets of Malaysia where he performs for tourists. He has continually broken his own Guinness World Record and can currently pierce 4 coconuts in a shade over 12 seconds. Just imagine what his gnarled finger could do to a human skull. It could pop like a water balloon. Number 2, Troy James. Troy James is not your average cartoonist. There are a few people on earth more terrifying than this man, rising up from an inanimate pile of crumpled up limbs only to run and leap towards you like something straight out of your worst nightmare. James is double jointed and extremely flexible, able to force and twist his body into an unnatural positions. It's more terrifying as his old demeanor and behavior undergoes a monstrous transformation. His one of a kind posture has served him well in his various roles in sci fi and horror TV series and films. He also performed on Australia's Got Talent, abducting one of the judges. His human spider routine caused the judge to let out a blood curdling scream as James crawled up over his body. And it's safe to say he wouldn't have had much sleep that night. Number 1, Jerry Mcculloch. Jerry Mcculloch is a throwback to a bygone era. He's a professional sharpshooter closely resembling Deadshot, who's won numerous national titles and shattered multiple world records. He can fan the hammer at a speed faster than the human eye. His skill with a revolver is arguably unmatched by anyone who has ever lived. It takes a little over a half second for him to hit the target with 5 shots, 1 second with 8 shots, 3 seconds with 6 shots. A reload and another 6 shots. The footage looks like it's almost faked or doctored, and gives a new meaning to the phrase, "the hand is faster than the eye." Deadshot for sure. This is it for today. See you in the next video.